let's start off with some thoughts on hash price. Let me pull up this infographic from our friends over at Hash Rate Index. Mr. Difficulty Weatherman, what do we have in store?
Yeah, so we have quite a bit of ways to the next difficulty adjustment. We just had one a couple days ago, but as of right now, we're estimated for a pretty major difficulty increase. If you're watching in a video stream, Luxor has it at 3.73% increase. Pretty concerning for miners out there, given the hash price. That is what you're being paid per each hash per day, measured in dollar per petahash second per day. Kind of a measure of gross revenue on the network if you're unfamiliar with mining economics. But we're at about $45, which is basically pre-election levels, really, is where we're at currently. And so the idea that, at a time where the Bitcoin price is down from the high at, the mid 105, 105, 108 level, we're down maybe 30% from there. And people are kind of concerned with the macro environment. The fact that we are at 45 for a hash price with a looming difficulty increase, I think, people aren't getting warm and happy feelings out there in the mining market. But, we still have quite a bit of the epoch to go. The adjustment isn't until March 22nd. So blocks are coming in pretty quick right now. That could really reverse, and maybe things will look a little bit better. Maybe we get some, exciting news in the Bitcoin space that props up price, or maybe there's some,
David Bailey says there's news coming.
Okay, right. Well, as basically every week for a while, I feel like we've been getting those tweets. So I'm I guess I'll be cautiously optimistic. And the last thing I was going to say is maybe some app will launch and we'll get a huge fee spike, which will help the miners. But anything I'm missing there, Will? What do you think about where hash price is?
No, I mean, on the David Bailey point, the man has delivered time and time again. So I'm pretty excited myself. Looking over at Hash Rate Index, and the data just started a new period. Last adjustment is 1.43%. For Bitcoin miners, we're looking at all-time low in hash price. So, we'll scroll down here. We'll see that the last 3 months has been pretty brutal. And we clicked our lowest at $42 per petahash, just right over here. It's hard to kind of get on the graph, but very, very low, right? So what does this mean? I mean, it's just revenue for Bitcoin miners, and it's very, very difficult to be a Bitcoin miner right now. So that's not great. There's still more hash rate being deployed. So obviously public miners who have a lot of capital and they have an incentive to plug in more Bitcoin miners, and the private guys out there are obviously trying to scurry and deploy a hash rate as well, but they don't have as much of an advantage. So there's an interesting dichotomy in that part of the market. The other thing I'll bring up is that ASIC prices continue to be very low and bad. Looking at this ASIC price index, it's just not that interesting because it's just been bad for a while if you look at the historic norms. So these track Bitcoin price. The cost of purchasing an ASIC basically tracks how much revenue you're going to get out of it. And when revenue is at all-time lows, just continue to expect to see that these ASIC prices continue to be very, very low.